loud poets. Please clap your hands, stamp your feet, and make some noise for your host and compere, Kevin Mclean.
Hello, welcome to the Loud Poets Glasgow Slam! Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Kevin Mclean. I will be your host for this evening. How are you all doing? You well? Fantastic. It's been a while since we've had a Loud Poets show in Glasgow. Hey, give me a little cheer if you've been to a Loud Poets show before. Good, down the front in the splash zone, what I like to see. Give me a little cheer if you've never been to a Loud Poets show before. Well, you are in for a fucking treat. It's going to be good. It's like you've divided down this line. Nice. Yes, if you've never been to a Loud Poets show before, we are the Loud Poets. This is what we do. We do spoken word poetry, and specifically the last couple of years, we have been doing slams, poetry slams. Give me a little cheer if you've never been to a poetry slam before. A tepid, timid, non-poetry slam-based whoop. I like it. Well, don't worry. You are not going to be slammed. You are going to be fine. It is the poets that are in harm's way this evening. What we've been doing the last couple of years, the Loud Poets, we've been putting on these slams all over Scotland. And this year, we're kind of extending out. This slam season, we have 10 heats over 10 cities across Scotland and England. So this is the second heat. Our first heat we kicked off in November with Push the Boat Out in Edinburgh. And now we are here for the second heat in Glasgow. Glasgow, we didn't do a heat the first 2 years. We were in Paisley. We're going to be back at Paisley, but we thought Glasgow deserved its own heat. So that is why we are here at the lovely Drygate. Give a big whoop for Drygate. Thank you very much for having us. The staff here are lovely. They will keep you well lubricated. So yes, please enjoy that. Slam, how does it work? Well, poetry slams are competitive poetry, which is a lot of fun, but very stupid. It is trying to assign a score value to a poem, which is a nonsense thing to attempt to do. But in that, it's a good way to trick audiences to come to these shows. Thank you. So what we have is 12 poets competing. What are they competing for? Well, they're competing to be the Glasgow Slam champion and win £200. Pretty cool. If they win, they will also qualify for the Grand Slam final. And that will see the winners of all 10 heats that we do this year come to Edinburgh in the summer in August at a yet unconfirmed celebrated August Edinburgh Festival. I will say more when I can. But yes, we will be there in August. We will have our 10 finalists, and they will be competing for a Grand Slam final, £3,000. Which, if you know anything about poetry or just fucking money, is a lot. In poetry pounds, that's £1 million. That is an insane prize. It is the biggest prize in UK slam poetry, and it's trying to put spoken word poetry, kind of make it a bit more of a destination. And for the destination thing, we've also included English heats, mostly so we can go to England, get 3 winners, and make them come to Scotland for the fucking final. About time. So yes, that is the plan. That's what we're going to be doing in August. But how do we get there? Well, we have to judge. And the judging is done by our 3 glamorous judges. I am not one of them. I will never do it. It is a thankless job I've tricked them into doing this evening. So our first judge is our resident Loud Poets judge. She's one of the team here at Loud Poets. She's the one with the PhD, so we make her do the judging. Give it up for Katie Ailes! She is also our door person / photographer. That PhD is really working out for her. Our next judge was the first Slam Series Grand Slam champion. Make some noise for Rosie Johanner! For a lot of the slams, we have partner organizations that we're kind of working with in those cities. Glasgow, we thought we would just kind of do it off our own back. And normally what we do is we get a judge from the partner organization. And we realized a couple days ago we didn't have a partner organization for this one and didn't have a third judge. And we're like, oh, we could ask Rosie to do it. I phoned Rosie and asked her, and she went, I would have been judging anyway. So you can tell she's fucking qualified. And our third judge, a lot of the slams this year, what we're doing is we're using the winner from last year's Heat. We didn't do one last year in Glasgow, so we're like, who could we get to be the Glasgow rep? And there is none better than the absolute legend himself. Go wild for Jim Monaghan! If you have been attending poetry events in Glasgow or pretty much Scotland, you will know who the fuck Jim is and know his credentials are more than adequate for this kind of job. So those are your three judges, and Jim also is going to be filling a very important role because it is a horrible thing to be in a poetry slam and be the first person up at the mic. I'm sure you guys are going to be a beautiful audience the whole way through the night. I'm sure you're going to be loud. I'm sure you're going to give all that love. Some poetry audiences, not so fucking good at that. And so it's terrifying coming up to the mic first. So what we have is a sacrificial poet, and Jim is going to be fulfilling that role for us. He's going to come up and give us a couple poems between the rounds. Hey, it's going to be wonderful. So yes, Jim is our sacrificial. We have our three judges. I'm the host. We're going for the prizes. We know all that. What our final ingredient is the poets, and we have 12 incredible poets for you. The way it's going to work, in the first round, all 12 poets will read. They will all have 3 minutes at the mic. The judges will be scoring. They'll have 3 minutes. They'll come up, they'll read, and then we will go into the interval. When we come back, we'll find out which 6 poets are through to the second round, and then we will do that round. Those 6 poets will read. Then we will find out which 3 poets are in the final. They'll be joined by our special loud poets, little special extra element that we throw into a slam, which is our wonderful musician. Give it up for Jack Hinks. They will, that's right, we're like, poetry slam, you feeling nervous? Well, here, improvise with a musician, which will be lots of fun for them. So that will be the third round. Those 3 poets will read, we'll declare a winner, and that will be how it works. Everyone good with that? Okay, well, I am going to read out the 12 poets in the order that they will be reading. This is mostly for them. I give them a debrief earlier, and I could see them all go, I've immediately forgotten what you said, Kev. I am nervous. Please don't give me information. So what I'm going to do is I will read their names out now. I'll also be coming up between the poets and shouting out the next one. I'll also be doing a thing. You'll hear me do it, say on deck, which means the poet after next. That's for them. Ignore that. But this is the first Glasgow Heat. We have done 2 of these slam series. And every time I say we will do one big cheer at the end of the list of poets. Doesn't fill me with faith. And every Heat, someone fucks it up. Glasgow, I believe in you. One big cheer at the end. Our poets are Angie Strachan. Oh, Glasgow, I love you. Arlo Bain, Biff Smith, Biz, Christy Gurley, Jordan Taylor, Kate Bradley, Lorna Calorie Seholi, Lyric Rudy, Ross Wilcox, Shashvata Sharma, and Spencer Mason. It took us 3 years, but we finally managed it. We film all these shows. They all go up on our YouTube. If you want to see previous year's slams, you can check them all out. All the ones to come this year will be up. And so this isn't for you. This is for the camera. You see how Glasgow did? Do fucking better. Guys, that's how the slam works. That's all the nuts and bolts of it. But really, you guys don't need to worry about any of that. The thing I need you guys to worry about is while they're freaking out about what their score is and they're freaking out about how to give a score, I don't want you to worry about scores. I don't want you to worry about points. I want you guys to worry about the poems. I want you to enjoy each and every one. At a poetry slam, you're going to hear a lot of different stuff. You're going to hear a whole mix of styles, subject matters, different voices from different backgrounds. That is the beauty and joy of a slam. And I want you to give each and every poet your full support because it's a fucking scary thing to do at the best of times. This is a huge room full of people, and that is even scarier. So are you guys up for making some noise, giving some love? Yeah! Glasgow, this is a loud poet slam. I'm going to need more than that. Are you ready to give some love to our poets? Oh, I knew you would be. Well, let's fuck about no longer. We are going to get things underway with our spectacular sacrificial poet. Guys, please put your hands together for the legend that is Jim Monaghan!
Did I hear a boo there? I'd be disappointed if there wasn't. Does my time start now? Poets, don't do what I'm going to do and introduce the poem and talk about it before it, because you'll run out of time and you'll lose. And it's $3,000 potentially at the end of this. Also, I think, do you go to the National Slam Finals?
Oh, yeah, you win the heats, yeah.
You win the heats to go to National Slam Finals, and people for that go on to European finals and world finals. Some of them might even tell you about it tonight. Listen, I just want, this poem's in my latest book for all intensive purposes. I just want to say a wee bit before it, and that it's a pretty fucking horrible world right now. I don't know if any of you ever stepped foot into Twitter. And there's a lot of fucking horror out there, but I just want to say to people, keep fighting, and keep fighting for each other. Everybody else's fight is your fight. This is called The Long Road. If I can find a bit of light that actually shines on it. Long Road. To those who despair, standing helpless against a relentless tide of disinformation, of defeats and setbacks. Those who feel they cannot ever win a battle, never mind the war. Those who play a thankless part in a process that will lead to change, maybe not now or in your lifetime or the next. Your every action and word have a meaning and are part of a whole. For those who feel they are wasting their time, it's a long road to revolution. But without you, it cannot be done. You are the ant that carried the leaf, that blocked the hole, that saved the nest for the future. Those who do not know the importance of your own individual act, you stood up, you took a stand, you fought. You are the history of the world, the catalyst, the glue. Without you, it would never have happened. Thank you.
Give it up for Jim Monaghan! Glasgow, are you ready for the first round of the Loud Poet Slam? Well, we have Arlo Bain on deck, but kicking us off, please go wild for the amazing Angie Strachan!
Welcome to my presentation on the power of corporate jargon. At Blue Sky Thinking, we're a dynamic organisation utilising our exceptional talent for motivation through the power of corporate jargon. We aspire to inspire your average employee to climb the corporate ladder. So, how do we do this? Well, it's not rocket science, but we've developed an in-depth 7-step training programme incorporating business buzzwords, inspirational quotes and post-it notes. A pretentious lunch of quinoa salad will be included, and at the end of the training, each delegate is awarded a laminated certificate in business bullshit. At Blue Sky Thinking, we believe that if your words sound important, even if no one knows what you're talking about, you will look important and people will think that you're important. But this is not just our mission statement, it's our passion and commitment to preserve the beautiful language that is corporate jargon. At Blue Sky Thinking, we can show you how to take a thought shower and a brainstorm and challenge the norm. Take this window of opportunity to smash the glass ceiling, boil the ocean while pinning your colours to the mast, do the maths, give it 110% and 360-degree thinking, push the envelope, pass the buck, think outside the box. Thought-provoking, eh? In fact, it's almost like poetry. Let's move through the holistic gears to next level and give you an example of how Blue Sky Thinking is enlarging the margin with the corporate jargon. Bob worked in accounts for a large multinational organisation. He was the kind of guy who would hide behind a vol-au-vents at office parties. His desk was cluttered. He was often found procrastinating, sniffing Tipp-Ex in a stationery cupboard. His career was stagnating and spiralling into an abyss of boredom and presenteeism. But blue sky thinking taught Bob that corporate jargon is the secret to success in busyness. So he strategized and synergized, dotted the T's and crossed the I's, lined his ducks in a row, pinged his boss an email, walked the walk, talked the talk. All his long-term strategies were long, and all his short-term strategies were long. And now he's gone from a job in data entry to be the chief executive of the bullshit company. Moving on and moving forward, getting straight to the point. At close of business, close of play, end of the day, it's not about the shit that you do, it's about the shit that you say. On behalf of Blue Sky Thinking, thank you for listening.
On deck we have Biff Smith, but please keep that applause going as we welcome to the stage Arlo Bay!
Elvis Presley died on the toilet. Sometimes I imagine him sitting there, clenching so hard his heart tears, his teeth clench, finger curl, sphincter prying. But he knew which bathroom he was meant to die in. Must be nice. Because when you're trapped in the old bathroom debate, you're forced to hold it, forced to wait. I stand in front of my two paths, locks on both the doors, too much to go in one and the other needing more. Why is it me? Cursed, you see, oppressed because I don't get a place to pee. If my piss passes, splish splashes quietly, I can continue in your world as long as you don't see. Because Elvis was a king on rock and roll high, and allies love to scream at what a king am I. So why? When my place forgotten, am I forced to lie? So the comfort of those privileged few surely doesn't die? I seem to not be seeing the sticker that says, handle me with care. I've been around a couple times, I've got a couple tears, yet I'm an eggshell. I'm a timer, I'm a bomb about to blow. So if you need a trans experience, then here we fucking go. Hi. My name is... Okay, well, that's not so clear. I'm a little bit there, but always here. My body lives in ignorant bliss, my bounding breasts and thrusting hips. I like D&D. And poetry and good Scottish rain, and I don't like to overtake, so I stay in my lane. I live in a world of halves, a black and white. I exist as an evening in the day and night, and when people get me wrong, I don't put up a fight, because perception is reality, so that makes them right? No. Fuck that. Rights are not a competition. No one has to win. Look around and think about the world you're in. It's not you and me, it's us and we. I'll flush away your doubt debris. You will make space. You will make room. I will bring upon cisgender doom. Okay. Bit much. But my point presumed will not be wrapped up in a gender's costume. I'm tired of always being the oncoming storm. Like you, I want to be held, kept safe and warm, and I think the world is prettier outside the norm. So mourn, if you have to, because the world's changing soon. And when you cast this caricature on me, you forget my human decency. That I am everything you fail to see, and that I just want a goddamn place to pee. Thank you.
On deck we have Biz, but please keep the noise going, keep it building for Biff Smith!
Good evening, everyone. This poem is for anyone struggling to find a place in the world. It's called Even the Lepers. Today is not for the likes of you. One door closes, next door two. Cheering the losers, but betting the win. Funny how the outsiders won't let us in. Or you can look, but you won't get a sniff. Exclusion, divestment, inequity. If you can't go where the love is, you go where you can. Did I tell you I bought a funeral plan? I leave a room tidy, if not quite as found. Maybe I'll see you later, if not much around. Stay in lane, know your place, not above nor ahead. Our thoughts and our prayers are to honour the dead. The living will have to take care of themselves. There are songs for the silence, books for the shelves. So respect for the work, be polite to the waiter. All money's dirty sooner or later. And Jesus fucking Christ, to give him his full name. All that turn the other cheek is just shifting the blame. So I'm busy with how, there's no time for why. My famous last words will be never say die. I was always in sight, if not much in mind. If you know how to look, I'm not hard to find. I'll be crashing my way down an avalanche, 3 sheets to the wind and a snowball's chance. Best bib and tucker and glass in hand. Which part of no can I not understand? Hang on for grim life, perchance a dear death. I'm blowing a wish, but not holding my breath. And after the gutter has spat us back out, adrift means to still be afloat. Just about. Well, you live and you learn, or sometimes you just live. I have lived long enough to forget to forgive. Even the lepers won't have us. But still, with a little bit of luck, the pariahs will.
Good Smith, everybody! On deck, we have Christy Gurley, but coming to the stage right now, please go wild for Biz!
Hello. So as you now know, my name's Biz, and as much as I might wish it, my day job's not this. I actually pay my bills as a data analyst, which means I glean trends using statistics, collate multiple single instances to investigate relationships, and accept or reject a null hypothesis. Translation for those who don't speak mathematics, I'm paid to make educated, backed by data guesses. Not super poetic, but there's power in it. Since the rapid expansion of technification, the so-called data revolution, this kind of thing's shaping our every experience. I mean, what was the first thing you did this morning? If you're anything like me, you were straight on a screen, mindlessly scrolling through some kind of feed that's been perfectly curated based on what you've liked previously. Maybe, having pathed through 2 or 3 apps, you check Google Maps to see if your tram's on track, which you'll pay for with a contactless tap, and get Spotify to fill the gap you lack the imagination to on your commute. All the while snooped on by CCTV, so that if you're like me, within an hour of being awake, you've left a data lake in your wake, which goes beyond what bands you rate but pertains to location, knows your finances, your face. And there's power in that. Come on, we've all been had by personalised ads. I know I have. But did you hear about the girl whose shopping gave an algorithm enough information to deduct her situation? Indicative of a bun in the oven, Target's targeted ads let her dad know it was coming. He knew before she'd even consulted Clearblue. It's true. We're so oblivious to the power we have, just going about our day-to-days, training systems to be creeps, or in the case of Kent Police, inherently bad. They've been using this tech called predpol, which tells them where to find the next criminal. By clustering existing convictions, its systems make predictions which are said to be 10 times more efficient than random patrols. And since it's not based in social divisions, they said its fairness is a given, but the police's fairness isn't. They consistently arrested those they thought suspicious, which is a very good proxy for not white or privileged, meaning the data training the system is systematically racist. And guess what? As the tech got more of these so-called crimes convicted, it reinforced its logic and became more of a bigot, because without a conscience, algorithms don't question patterns. Without regulation, they just proliferate oppression. Now that is power in action. And we're handing over the reins. These days, so much of our lives are automated. We've delegated task after task to computational processes. More efficient than us, machines maximize profit. But the question is, who's profiting off it? Because I'll be honest, I haven't a clue what goes on in those algorithmic black boxes. And I'm an analyst. I'm salaried to know it. But I do know this. If something is free, chances are you're the commodity. So manage your cookies. Declare your preferences. That data lake you've made, it's yours. Take back some power and choose what it's for. Thank you.
Make some noise for Pez! We have Jordan Taylor on deck, but now make their way to the stage. Go wild for Christy Gurley!
My big sister is my fiercest protector. When a boy at school bullies me for not being cool enough, she doesn't just show up. She arrives, marching her girl squad across the quad at lunch, strutting like cowboys settling a score. Tumbleweed in the breeze behind them, their Rockport laces clicking like spurs. She locks eyes with her target, backs him against the gym door and says, "I hear you've been mean to my wee sister." The boy's eyes dart like fireflies. He's paralysed, trapped, cornered prey. I dare to dash forward and try to say, hey, you've... But my big sister pushes me away. Not now, little sis. Big sister's at work. She glares. If looks could kill, the boy would be toast. His knees knock a Morse code of terror, face white as a ghost, as my big sister hisses like a viper. If you say another word to her, I'll chop off your balls and wear them as earrings. The boy whimpers. Colour drains what's remained in his face. He nods frantically, and finally, the hunter allows her prey to escape. She turns to me smug, saying, see, kid, that's how it's done. That's great, I reply. I don't have the heart to tell her, but she threatened the wrong guy. My big sister terrorised me too. It's something big sisters are born knowing how to do. She convinced me I was an alien. Her very own E.T. found in the garden like a Cabbage Patch Kid. She begged Mum and Dad to please let her keep me. I believed her for years. More years than I ever want to admit. Our teen era was war. Our wardrobes bloody, battlegrounds, screaming, shrieking, clothes ripped from hangers like hostages in a heist. The entire house shook from our cries. But despite years of unrest, my sister's my ride or die. She stands beside me, cheering me on, but is the first to haul me back to earth if my head gets stuck in the clouds. She's margaritas, Disney movies, karaoke and dance parties. She's pints of wine, and there's time for one more. She's screaming at full-time rugby scores. My sister is my fiercest protector. She gives me something to look up to. She's a compass, a beacon, a star guiding me through every storm. She's my fiercest protector, but she doesn't realise that I'm hers too. Thank you.
Christy Gourlay, everybody. We have Kate Bradley on deck, but come to the stage right now. Go wild for Jordan Taylor!
On the floor, bereft, again, bent in the wrong direction. I see my reflection in the tide and decide to become the love of my life. By age 5, I'd learned to survive on a diet of castigation. 25 years until realisation that I'd been lied to. If self-hate is the fuel, you'll reach your destination still hating. No self-love displayed in my mother's nature. It's innately elusive in humans, and so it's my duty to nurture my view of my beauty. I cannot kiss me on the mouth, but if I could, I would. Whisper sweet nothings, a lover onto my lips. I would trace my fingertips across my hips and say, you are soft and sweet banana bread, and I'd gently knead myself. Hours I spend, I chop, stir, blend, colours of nourishment coursing through me, emanating beams from my cheeks so the mirror can see the ways I'm loving me. I build a home inside myself. Bathe me in golden devotion. I have told me to lean into that which I used to flee. You can only receive once you're willing to meet what shames you and love it to death. I spend evenings speaking my love language, affirmation, gazing at my face, saying trust and be patient. Love may be around the corner, but I will not run out, for I am abound. I promise to hold me in the deep and pillow talk until we fall asleep. Admittedly, at times I will resent me. I'll forget we made plans, accidentally let criticism in, and then begin again. Because even the love of your life gets it wrong sometimes. There's a lock of hair in a locket, a diamond ring in my pocket. There may be no ceremony, but I take my hand as anyone can and stand on stage, brazenly saying, "My hair is amazing." Unashamedly declaring, "I am fat and gay and radiant in faith. I am braver than my mother, my one true lover. Chant your magic song. You are not wrong after all."
Jordan Taylor, everybody!
Guys, we are halfway through the first half. Are you doing all right? Are you ready for more? Well, we have Lorna Calorie Set Holy on deck, but now please put all that love in the room as we welcome Kate Bradley!
My dad doesn't say love you at the end of his phone calls. He says, love yourself. And in my head, I think of that RuPaul quote, but no, my dad doesn't say it like that. He says it like a commandment. Like a man who could calm the seas. My dad doesn't say love you at the end of his phone calls. The way you only sign a text with a kiss if I have sent one first, and I only send one first because you sent one first the first time, so that makes you the very firstest of the two of us. Nah. My dad doesn't toe the line when it comes to telling someone he loves them. He says it as compulsively and honestly as a man performing the sign of the cross alone in his bedroom at 1:45. My dad doesn't say love ya at the end of his phone calls. He says, I love you. Full and proud and soft and kind, and I can stay on the line if you need me to. If you just want me to. I can put you on speaker on the sofa between me and your mom. The last time I was sick, he spoke to me for hours about all the birds he could see from his study window while I drifted in and out of sleep down the line up in Glasgow. He'd have had work to do. The dying to see and the dead to bury, but my dad doesn't say I love you like it isn't a promise. Thank you.
Kate Bradley, everybody!
We have Lyric Rudy on deck, but making their way to the stage now. Please give a warm welcome to Lorna Calorie Set Holy!
So this poem has a trigger warning for violence and murder. Click. Sitting in St. Robert's pew as my brain tries to compute. I've done all my greeting and greeted emaciated ghosts, the ones paying their respects, the ones here to show face, the nosy cunts with their hair done special for camera crews, and all I can think about is whether they heard a click before the boom. Detonation, a final destination, projectiled like missiles in this never-ending war where lines in the dirt mean more than flesh and blood. 2 coffins, 3 souls, one apparently in the womb. I think about Nicky's half-sister in a wee white coffin and another party tune, buried where da, perhaps, source of all this grief and unimaginable pain. If he wasn't dead already, he'd be gone insane. His 2 lassies assassinated in a Hollywood film where bombs detonate after the click. I had no idea who Nicky's dad was. It was just her and her ma. She never talked about him, had her ma's name. I remember us walking the West Highland Way, wee bloats in the landscape like squish midges and windscreens, trying to penetrate invisible barriers. Lost in foliage, lost in ourselves. I remember throat sere for belting belters for Ben to Ben. Her name was Lola, she was a showgirl, catchy as fuck. The Devil's Staircase was the worst. Sleek it, steep steps, killing your calves. I remember it was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The reverb of the click would have sounded the alarm, but how many seconds did they have to escape? And did they have time to feel afraid? And as he stuck, calves killing him, halfway up the Devil's Staircase, trying to reach the summit, deed Wayne's dragging him down into the deepest, darkest depths of his cell. There's nae life jackets in hell. Try and tell three mothers of Ainley Wains about lines in the dirt that become so unpassable. I run my fingers along decapitated tree stump after chainsaw's metal teeth drew blood and spat us out. Skells in our lungs, struggling to breathe. Damp, siller birch smouldering, and the deforestation of future generations in a hale community, drowning in its own inheritance.
Guys, we have Ross Wilcock on decks, but please keep that noise building, keep that pause building as we welcome to the stage Lyric Rudy.
Welcome to the Lyric Scotland Anniversary Edition 2.0. Other than the need for screws in the lyrics shoulder, limiting dance ability, among other physical functions, you will find many improvements to your lyric-related experience. This edition has been rigorously stress-tested, including a physical inability to cook for an entire quarter, 3/4 of homelessness, and an absence of motherly hugs for a whole year. Throughout all of these tests, the lyric has maintained shockingly consistent rates of stability. We've worked the cut and run factor down to 1/3 of what it used to be, with the exception of when the daddy issues-ometer is activated. We refuse the numerous requests to add a turbo button to the daddy issues-ometer. For those who provided that feedback, our communications team has found your mothers and forwarded your explicit feedback to their homes and places of business. Your lyric is now more likely to come where and when told, but may still experience a 5 to 15 minute ADHD-related delay. We did attempt to alter the ADHD effect, however, in those trials, the lyric was prone to short-circuiting from anxiety. While the decline in promiscuity of this edition may seem like it would decrease function, social overcompensation has reduced by X minus 69% with 420 new conversational options. Don't worry, the flirt alert is still delightfully overreactive. We tried to work out the kinks. Well, we thought about it. However, since there was so much positive feedback there, we decided to work in new ones instead. Due to side effects of other improvements, some seem to have naturally developed, including, shocking to us all, emotional awareness. This may make this edition less suitable for some users while both healing and incredibly frustrating to others. Curious about the rest of the new kinks? Fuck around and find out. More new features with this edition include healthier boundaries, an expanded romantic capacitator, and better breath control. Ultimately, both users and their lyric will find this edition has less connection issues and is a more satisfying companion. Warning, your lyric may occasionally shut down. Once a panic button is pressurized, your lyric will need time to come back online. New kinks and special interests may emerge at any, oh my God, have you seen this lighting? Do you think I could do this in my whole house?
We have Shashvat Sharma on deck, but please welcome to the stage right now, Ross Welcome!
Trigger warning for vague descriptions of sexual assault. NSA, no strings attached, latched to every conversation in gay culture. The hookup mantra. I've been there too many times, like a rhyme, they say NSA. This way, they avoid the noise of overthinking while I'm left thinking in and out of why I am not good enough. Regretting actions of sexual encounters I maybe didn't consent to. Drunk in a haze. So I praise this person for the act of being gentle and kind. We walked arms linked, like two forever friends, kisses on chilled Glasgow streets, glistening with ice specks underfoot. It took not long for us to embrace back at his place, untied laces, faces together in passionate kisses. Hands held tight together, legs entangled in lust. My lips, his lips, our lips. Are you okay with this? Is this okay? Was said throughout the night. Lustful hours, kisses passionate. My body was worshipped and given praise never heard before. I swore I'd relish in this time until it ended. I left with a smile for a while until I heard again NSA, he said. But I don't want to sink this time. But how can I not link myself to him, invisible string? When this was the first time sex was done in passion, not violence, not for vanity, not for me feeling like I had to do it because I didn't want to lose the person. How can they walk away so easily and when I am left NSA? Thank you.
Our final poet in the round is going to be Spencer Mason, but our penultimate poet, Shashvat Sharma!
Carnage. Hear me and hear me clear of my life, my lives, and all that I hold dear. But I burn, so don't come too close, no, don't stand so near. But watch me burn like you watch a house burn. Foundations and all. The facade burns first, all that is false somehow burns last. Let the smoke fill your lungs, rush to your brain, let it put you in a trance. Let it burn your lungs like fate burns dreams. Catastrophic, but oh so freeing. What freedom it is to live without dreams. But no, you will not smoke me like a cigarette you smoke with your friends laughing. Smoke me like a fag you light up in your solitude. A gut-wrenching song playing in the background, your eyes watering from the smoke. But you inhale anyway, because nothing hits like tears and lives lost to beauty, salt, and a false sense of duty. Let me burn your lips and let me rub salt in it too. Light one up for me, light one up from me too, because I'm burning already, can you not see? Let the crackling of my bones be the music, firewood kindling in the fury of my eyes, but no melancholic tones. Watch me smoke. Don't tell me you think it will kill you. It will kill me first. I was made for that. Burning, smoking, snuffing, but I decided to be heard. If I were to burn anyway, let me go like a forest fire, devastating, making way for new life, burning from its kindling, birthing from its kindling. I was made to drown with my lives tied to my ankles, weighted and heavy. I don't need chains, they rust, but this life, it will remain. In the smoke and the embers, but it will not be a sob story, no. Watch me be destroyed, but what splendid destruction, like an oil spill over tranquil blue waters. The best thing you ever saw, all colors of the rainbow, light it up and watch it burn. As it burns over water, pure fire, pure love, resembling me when I was born, original and clean 2 decades ago. Watch as the fires dance in your eyes. Pray to the gods of life and death that you got to see such carnage. Pray it doesn't singe you and spread my gospel of burning, smoking, snuffing, and don't cry. None of it is a sob story. Sing it, dance to it, like the fires danced in your eyes, making cathedrals of red on your black irises. Dance like the carnage of hateful adults who don't care because nobody cares. Dance like the love of unloved children because nobody watches them, nobody's watching anyone, nobody's watching. Dance for me and I will drown for you. Pray to me and I will not burn you. Thank you.
Give it up for Shashma! We have one final poet in the first round. Please make all the noises. We welcome Spencer Mason!
The hearse moaned through the valley like a tear, the church taller than the town. Last service of the day, the breathing funeral, it was their father's. A stoic bedlam colonially, he is sat, the prince of rock and roll. Head drooping like a stoic bedlam. Colonially, he is sat, the prince of rock and roll, our festering renegade, his horns gently intruding, head drooping like the dart end of a scorpion. Noisily barren, the second row gapes. The prince stands as the sole occupant of the front pew beside his younger brother, the prodigal cunt. Head twitching like a myopic rooster in an ambivalent coo, a necklace of pistachios strung like pearls. So it's the prodigy, the pastor, and the prince of rock and roll, his help fettered into a waning yield and stitched with dream thirst. Our faith-chancing monarch raises the choir, bartering in psalms, his eyes pleading the pastor, bestower of the will. Godmaker. 46 years the prince had bled into his instrument until he could practically hear tremolo between his heartbeats, only for a fucking 12-year-old to be called king. Thus the prince has made the moment that never comes. Retired in ignominious silence, his status rosily usurped as his younger took up the crown and placed a plectrum on the coffin, gave eulogy, enveloped in a brutalist defiance, the mourners bore the sky and drank loudly the day. Now naturally, as you would expect, the wake burgeoned with song. The bar was a snapped gastric band, filled with hollow words, and the young heir wept triads and vomited distortion while the prince sat, carnivorous mind and single malt, calling softly on Prometheus chained to the feedback loop. Noise, noise, noise. The prince dropped a pill and felt the ghost of McGowan kiss his cheek, mottled breath and pepper. Does it feel safe in your hands? It's 3 a.m. then, apparently. And the streets of this unfurling place seek a body, and she has found one to borrow in the prince. Fine then. Let the moonlight make their shadows conspiratorial, a metse of moonlight. Fine, let his brother lug the crown, for he has luminaries to eat. Fucking something out of your muse is one thing, but he wants to hurt her a little bit too. Make diminished chords of her spine, Dorian modes burgled from her larynx. When she asks him if this is love, he just says, "My father's dead, baby. This is rock and roll."
Can we just get a big round of applause for all of our first round slammers? Fucking wild. Guys, just before, if poets and judges could, when we go to the break, just kind of mill here, that'd be super helpful. Don't run away, poets and judges, he says as he watches Rosie Joe flee from the room. But yes, we are about to take a little break. During the break, there'll be up a slide with, if Kay wants to push the one, there you go, a slide. If you want to check out any of our stuff at Loud Poets, where you can find information on all the slams upcoming, where you can see the YouTube channel for all the slams that we've done, all that sort of stuff, you can check out any of our socials. You can sign up to the mailing list. We do like one big blast a month. We also try and shout out a lot of the other stuff that's going on. So if this is your kind of first spoken word event and you're like, this is fucking awesome, then please hit us up and we'll point you to where you can find a bunch of amazing stuff to go and check out in Glasgow. But for now, guys, what we're going to do while the judges are totting up the scores to give our poets a chance to breathe, we're going to take about a sort of 15-20 minute break. What time is it now? Thank you, glamorous assistants. So if everyone is back in their seat for 10-2, we'll kick off then. All right, guys, we will see you in the second half.
Welcome back to the second half of Loud Poets. Please clap your hands, stamp your feet, and make some noise for your host and compere, Kevin Mclean.
Hello. Welcome back to the second half of the Loud Poets Glasgow Slam. Did everyone get a drink? Good. Poetry's always better after a second drink. It's a fact of life. Guys, thank you so much for coming back. That's always a good sign that the first half was pretty good. I was a hell of a first round. We've been doing, like I said, this is our third slam series, third year of doing it. And every time I think, like after, the quality is going to dip eventually. Apparently fucking not. That was crazy, and a good insight into why I choose to do the hosting of these shows rather than the judging of the slams. Apologies. Yes, so unfortunately only 6 poets can move through to the second round, and that is always an absolute nightmare for the judges to do. You can see, how do you judge poetry when it is such vast range of styles, of subject matters, of all that stuff? And that's what we come to when I mentioned in the first half. Judging poems is kind of silly. You could run this exact same slam again with a slightly different order, or with slightly different judges, or with a different poem here or there, and you would get a completely different result. It really is not a way to judge a poet's worth. It is a way to get a bunch of poets in a room and hear a bunch of amazing poems. That is all it is. So, if you are not one of the poets that makes it through to the second round, please do not feel disheartened. It will have been the narrowest of margins between the people who are in the second round and aren't. It really is. Can we just, one more time, get a huge round of applause for all of our first round slammers? But there are 6 in the second round. I do need to read them out. Yes, going through to the second round, Glasgow. We are going to do one big cheer at the end. You nailed it first time. You can do this. Okay, so this is the order they will be reading in as well, okay? So one big cheer at the end. Our 6 poets through to the second round are Lorna Calorie Set Holy. Glasgow. You know what? I don't even blame you. Are Glasgow. The poets are. They should know better. No, guys. Our 6 poets are Lorna Calorie Set Holy, Kate Bradley, Christy Gurley, Biz, Biff Smith, and Arlo Bain. Lorna, Kate, Christy, Biz, Biff, and Arlo. Those are your 6 poets through to the second round. I know sometimes and stuff read out scores. We don't do scores. We're just doing the poets that are through. That's all anyone needs to know, all right? So that is our 6 poets. That is the order they will be reading in. But as I'm sure they had all convinced themselves they'd already been eliminated, I'm going to give them a little bit to compose themselves, realize, no, they do have to do more poems. And so while they are getting into that brain space, guys, we are going to have back our wonderful Sacrificial Poet. You saw him in the first half. You already know him. You already love him. Put your hands together and welcome the one, the only, Jim Monaghan!
Thanks, Kev. That was a fantastic first round. I'd just like to say, all of you, it's very, very difficult to judge. And as Kevin says, the margins were just ridiculous. If I could have been putting like 0.715 and all that, I would have been doing it. It was very difficult. It was very good. I'm going to read a poem. I might cry, actually. It's got a sad poem. I'll find my specs. This is a poem written about a friend of mine who died about just over 3 years ago. And there's a whole section in this book about dead people, which is quite a good thing for poetry, I think. They say that the way to win a slam is if you've got 3 poems, the first one should be, like, fuck the patriarchy, or something simple that everybody agrees with, fuck the Tories, fuck Edinburgh, something like that. You know, something that everyone in the whole room will agree with. The second one should be a funny one, so that not only do I agree with him, he's quite funny as well. I like this guy. And then, like, dead relative at the end, you know. Killer. That's the winner. If I can find this one. This book's for sale at the reception, by the way. It's only a tenner. This is a poem written for my pal Belle, also known as Beldina O'Denyo, or the Heir of the Cursed, as she was also known as well. Fantastic composer and songwriter. It's called She Said She Hated Goodbyes. She told us she would see us later. A white lie learned from experience, behind walls in a Drich Galloway prison, there because of who she was. Moses hadn't freed her people. Jesus couldn't save her soul. Drugs could not expand her horizon. Only love and music kept her going. She left us with just skin and bones, walked towards the border, dropping songs like clues in her wake and mirrors for us to hold. I buried her body on an Ayrshire beach, among dreamy dunes and jaggy grass, bitter snow and tears no more. And from that lovely shore, she swam home. Thank you.
Jim Monaghan, everybody! Please do go and grab a copy of Jim's book. It's amazing. It's such a wonderful piece. And Jim has long been my favourite poet in the scene, so it's an absolute pleasure to have him as the Sacrificial for tonight. One more big round of applause, Jim Monaghan. Are you ready for the second round? Well, on deck we have Kate Bradley, but kicking us off, guys, make some noise, raise the roof as we welcome back Lorna Calorie Sehole!
Forget flamboyancy flamingos. We're the drag chickens of Paisley. This guy took one look at me like he just had a soft smoke of that new weed. Stood for 20 minutes, staring in disbelief. A woman shouted, "That's one of their air pink doves." Another cunt says the colour depends on the sex of the bird. Another yin stoats in, "I seen a dodo up the braes." An old guy exclaimed, "There's rainbow-coloured foxes running about. You can see them miles away in Anchor Estate." We were all eating pellets for the sea big IG, and we didn't fly fast enough for the chimneys dyed steam. The red guys and the blue guys played Fitbit and lunch breaks, and old jocks sweated purple to the black crow called him heen. And Big Jimmy's eyes were, I was red, couldn't escape, sweet-smelling benzene trapped beneath his skin. And all yous were worried about was feral, funky pigeons, while Inman's Gold was sprayed on your cars or some posh seat you could park your arse. 12 flares high in Hunter Hill, Janet wiped daily chemicals off her sills, woman had to rewash her multicoloured smalls, and wee Paul sweated blue in the Costa del Sol. He knew right then something was wrong. Like the day they flushed their shite down a giant lavy pan called Tom's River in the 1950s. Carcinogenics playing with genetics and the gift of leukemia to Wayne's under 5. Yon factories no there anymore. Just a housing estate with funny money prices, working class wains, and junk in the grun.
On deck, we have Christy Gurley, but making their way to the stage now. Please put your hands together for Kate Bradley!
I am tired. A pen chewer, I am brain achy. A scribbler and hitchhiker, I am both enchanted and bored by this world, alive but unsure as to what that actually means. I am thinking about Northumbrian sea coal, how we couldn't dig too deep at the beach or else what had washed up would stain us, our nails and creases suited and black. My granny with a scrubbing brush in the bath, trying to bristle it off of me. What I wouldn't give to lick it now, to taste it and call it home. I am pretending to know what I am doing. I am pretending to know what I am. I am able to feel my eyeballs in their sockets all of the time. And I am sure my eyes are closed even though I can see. I am telling him, all holier than she, that he doesn't know what it means to kiss your friend's teeth and not get on your knees for forgiveness. I am a preacher's son, lacking piety, embalmed in the heady perfume of righteousness, a self-referential sense of justice. I am a prophet, taking stock of the moon and counting stars to catch a glimpse of what on earth we are. I am your manic pixie something. If you can dream it, I am the big-titted goth girlfriend to your golden retriever gamer boy. Bullshit. I am not your mother. I am whatever my reputation has already told you I am. I am sorry, but I'm only chatting you up for the free drink. I am not really that sorry. I am sorry that I struggle to mean it. When I say I am sorry, I am asking you, who writes the poet into action? Who enacted me and my poetry? Because despite what yous all think, I don't think it was me. I am trying not to answer questions, and I am always ending up back where I started. And by God, darling, am I tired? Thank you.
Bradley, everybody! On deck, we have Biz, but please keep that applause building, keep that noise going as we welcome back Christy Gurley!
Would you like a bag with that? That'll be £12.63 altogether. Please, is it cash or card today? Would you like a bag with that? Yes, the quail's eggs are right this way. I'm sorry you're upset, but the fat content of the frozen roast potatoes is not something that's within my control. Would you like a bag with that? This wasn't the life I had planned. I was some bright young thing in the greatest city in the world, dreams bigger than the skyscrapers surrounding me. I could picture the future me so vividly. Reciting Shakespearean poetry on the world's biggest stages, everyone's eyes on me, waxing lyrical with my contemporaries about the benefits of Meisner versus Adler, like the pretentious tool I longed to be. Funny how life didn't work out that way. I became another statistic in a bracket called failed to make it. The word failure rings in my mind at least 3 times a day. It keeps me awake. In the dead of night, I am haunted by the girl I could have been, and I hope that somewhere across the multiverse there is another me, whose dreams did become reality, who sleeps at night so peacefully, who doesn't have to doubt herself or wonder about might-have-beens, a me whose trajectory didn't fall flat like a SpaceX rocket, a me who didn't peak in college, who is living the good old days, not looking back wistfully, Nostalgia is my comfort and my enemy. I close my eyes, but I can't escape my reality, so I try. I try to send myself across a universe of infinite possibilities because somewhere out there must be a version of me who is successful and free. And if I find her, I won't feel bitter. The possibility of her gives me comfort during the day when I am stacking shelves. I wish her well. While I waste away in the waiting place, throwing away all my potential, trapped in this existential hell. My thoughts run wild. I have no purpose, there is no meaning. We're just meat-packed skeletons grasping at stars, trying to distract ourselves from the fact that we're stuck in the mud, screaming hopelessly into the abyss. But there's got to be more to life than this. It isn't over until the fat lady sings, and I've got so many songs unsung in me. My future is an unwritten melody. Only my soul knows there are no locks strong enough, no walls high enough to hold me. Inside me there is a symphony. If I can strike the right chords, I can set myself free. I'll lift my voice higher than the skyscrapers that once surrounded me. No one gets to decide my future but me. No one gets to decide my future but me. I won't waste away in the waiting place. I won't wait on others or wait for change. Any day now is going to be the last day I say, would you like a bag with that?
We have Biff Smith on deck, but please keep that noise going as we welcome back Biff!
Smoking's gross, isn't it? Financially, it's a definite deficit. An outgoing with growing bad credit, a carcinogenic that leaves you fetid, stinking like an ashtray with fingertips that are nicotine stained, and I'm ashamed to say I indulge in the habit. I only recently conceded it's not a passing characteristic to later be chaptered with other things I did whilst young and stupid. Nah, this is more than a dabble in the masochistic. I admit it. Folks, I smoke. I'm addicted. It's indefensible and unbelievable that it still feels kind of cool, subversive. I swear it's ingrained in my psyche. See smoking, read creativity, an inclination for anarchy, hedonistic tendencies. But then again, it's hardly surprising considering we've been drip-fed this narrative since the early 60s, when the tobacco industry clocked post-war women kept their jobs and co-opted the gender role shift as an opportunity to double their market, worked to change what we, the consumer, associate with the lethal product. Through aggressive and repetitive messages, they edited our collective memory to forget it leads to death, and instead appealed to desire, conspired to build this idea that smoking means power. You all know the scene. Attractive woman takes drag from cigarette, turns head and says something assertive. Even miming it feels seductive, and it's completely constructed. Classic consumer capitalism, shift the socio-political condition with subliminal messaging, mold our minds to associate sex with dominance, sex, rebellion, speak to our individualism, sell us what we cannot have in a packet of silver Bensons, live the Marlborough way and live in freedom. It's a Faustian bargain. Trade your lungs for rungs on an imagined ladder. My gullibility doesn't escape me. Don't kid a kidder. Smoking's not cool, it's not big, and it's not clever. But nicotine just hits different with cognitive dissonance, doesn't it? That mild discomfort in knowing that what you're doing has absolutely zero benefits. In fact, it's almost entirely negatives. The main incentive is symbolic status invented to make profit, but my cough's not yet productive enough to make me stop it. I find the ritual of rollies is almost meditative. Tuck in with a thumb and seal with a lick, then once lit, reconnect with your breath for just a minute. Try to forget about the toxins in it. Take each toke with a turned blind eye and indulge in a wrapped backy gift of time to self amongst the hectic. Satiate your cravings, let your brain fog lift, and have a moment to be selectively reflective. Now I can tell by your faces who's also gaslighting themselves on a daily basis. I'll see you outside in a bit. We can meet with Mephistopheles and puff on our cancer sticks. Thank you.
We have Arlo Bain on deck, but your penultimate poet in the second round is Biff Smith!
This is a love poem for a train station. Dedicated to underdogs everywhere. This is called Dumbarton East. Dumbarton East, Dumbarton Central, and then River, and Dalrioch. Odd, that. Lopsided. Almost as though the town planners overestimated just how much Dumbarton there was. Well, clearly not enough to balance the compass. In Hamilton, of course, there is the same thing in reverse. Hamilton West, Hamilton Central, and then Châtellerault. Airballs at least. But no matter where you look, there is no Hamilton East. You could say the two anomalies together form a pattern, a balancing of books, if I may. But let us deal with one disappointment at a time. That's what I always say. Is there down below us still some long abandoned line? Or in the vaults a paper trail, rusting of a sign, maps, directions, diagrams, arrows there and back? One more stopping station somewhere further down the track. Dumbarton Central, haughty on the A-list, sees you only as the poor relation. That is not kinship. Dumbarton East, captured in amber as night draws in around the sodium glow, and the trains are leaving, always leaving. And I think then of the peace that comes in being forgotten. And then how getting lost was the escape route all along. And I wish for you your turn to ride on a one-way ticket clattering happily down the Neverline, calling at Atlantis, Shangri-La, El Dorado, Elysian Fields and Wonderland. Arriving at last at the one you never had and so loved the best. Dumbarton West.
Guys, we have one final poet in the second round, so make all the noise as we welcome back Arlo Bay!
Simple question. You stand in front of a lever, controlling tracks you can pretend hold families, lovers, man, friend, means to an end, cash flow, sheeps, cows, childhood pets with a train. Set straight towards their pores at bone-crushing force. With one push, you can change the train's bloody course to gaggles of nuns, alcoholics and sons. And you've heard this all before, this moral war with trolleys, trains, self-driving cars. Where is too far? Who is worth more? Got us starting fights like we're comoradors. But we're never on the train tracks, though. And we were just too busy fighting, so we don't realize when the train conductor sneaks below. We turn around, but it's just too late. All we can do now is accept our fate. Because it doesn't matter what we'd actually do. It's much more likely that the train is coming towards you. Chances of being at the helm about 1,000 to 1. Maybe a little more if you're born with a trust fund. Who knows? You never really know where the train track goes. But you know where it's coming from the rooms that keep countries running. But this little trick is sour. They gave us a quandary and said we hold the power. Now I'm thinking that's not true. The system and the systole of what we do, it's them parting on funds from the revenues, toasting to another roasting year, planning for their feasts because they feed on fear, indulging in their sweet apocal sips from their cosmopocalyptic drinks. Shall we pass another law, methinks, neglecting all the drama held in kitchen sinks? But who's them, they cry, the they say. Oh, but we already know them. We buy their drinks. Buy their burgers, banks and minks, buy tickets on their trains and ignore the bumps under the wheels. We find ways to feel clean. But it isn't you now on the chopping block. It's the children and their future under rubble and rock. Take stock. Conductor sees the bodies and he doesn't ever stop. He's got places to be, places to take aces for the constancy, and he won't stop when it's you and me. So before it's us tied to that track, find the fucker who built the train and get them back. Maybe we stop fighting when it's the flip of a switch. Maybe we tear up the tracks before it hits the hitch. Even those okay with the violence far away, knowing it'll land on their doorstep one day, and I hear the people shouting, won't the train break down? Isn't there a way to make the track turn round? They built the train of cheap materials, so one big gust and the train will blow. There's too much legislation for the train to go. Won't the train break down? Won't it fall apart before it hits the people? They wouldn't just let that happen. Let all those people fall right where we trapped them. Isn't that wrong? Tell them we take care of them for last and long. You can hear the people screaming when they hear that song. Trucking without checking will the train break down? 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 Chugga 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 chugga. Thank you.
That was quite the second round. I could feel the hostility radiating from the judging table towards me. Wow, guys, can we just get a big round of applause for all of our second round slammers? Fucking hell. Crazy. I had a couple people come up to me, poets mostly during the interval, who have kind of seen, been watching the slams, and they all sort of agreed this is like easily one of the highest caliber slams we've done. This is such a difficult one for the judges, like crazy. Guys, as I said, in the third round, when we get to the final three, the judges are totting up the scores, we're going to have music. And so I thought what we'd do in the little break while they're doing the math is I would give you a poem and show you just kind of how that's going to work with the music. So could you help me, please, welcome to the stage the wonderful Mr. Jack Hanks! Jack is our wonderful loud musician. He has been doing this for a very long time. It's one of those underrated skills, being able to play along with poetry and kind of anticipate where a poet is going and kind of improvise behind them. Because it doesn't work the same as playing for a song. It's a very different thing. We've worked with other musicians and had some one-off musicians, and it's never quite the same as this went with Jack. So you got the main man this evening, guys. You're very lucky. And Jack has mastered a bizarre skill, which is if you give him 3 abstract words to sum up your poem, he absolutely nails it. Jack, your wonderful partner, what were the 3 words she gave you when she met you?
Sexy mythological destruction.
And now they're in love. Yeah, watch out, finalists. So if you want to give him more than 3 words, that's totally fine. You can't sneak in an extra 30 seconds of poem. That's not fine. But I thought I'd demonstrate. Jack, I am going to go for spooky cave nostalgia. He's always so confident about it. This is a poem about a cave, hence in France, with lots of artwork in it, sort of painted by ancient people in a time where that would have been a fucking silly thing to do, and that kind of longing to kind of leave your mark. So yeah, this is called Glasgow. Walk in the dark. It's only soil and stone. Call out and hear only your own echoing tone. This inhospitable hole is the furthest thing from a home. Musty air that swirls with dust, tunnels strewn with bones. This place is old, but so are we. And all we ever needed was the light to see. Flickering flame casts a glow that travels back to the feed of the pack, the bite of the cold, the warmth of the gathering, the joy of a story told. Fire stretches its fingers and black walls flood with colour. The collected work of generations, an art installation 18,000 years in the making, a painstaking effort and a time so hard to survive. No reward in mind, just a way to say we were alive. Or perhaps there was a purpose, a guide to the flora and fauna that could hurt us. Lessons too painful to trust to words spoken. A hall of bulls might simply be the symbol of a single heart broken. Or maybe they're a map, a plan of attack, the animal's easiest to track, time spent now but with full-bellied interest later paid back. There is no way of knowing for sure. But these are not the images that act as Lascaux's lure, no. It is the hands. They are reaching, stretching, grasping, clawing from the past, the red pigment blasted absence of a person's pressed palm upon the rock, the thought that you can touch the stone face and place yourself in the exact space of someone so unrecognizable, someone who died before history had begun, but who felt compelled for some memory to be held long after they were gone. How could that be anything but humbling? How could you still your hands from trembling? Would your mind flash to a nursery class full of 21st century children, placing painted palms on paper, later to be displayed not on cave walls but magnet held to family refrigerators? Would you still see unfathomable distance? Or would you finally understand there has only ever been an arm's reach between us? Jack Higgs, everybody! So, if you're enjoying this evening's slam, I thought, I love doing that. I feel the poets recoil into themselves. It's wonderful. So that's the way it's going to work in the third round, guys. If you're one of the poets, kind of give Jack a bit of a feel. If you don't want to say it into the microphone, you can kind of briefly go over to Jack, give him a line, give him a kind of vibe of your piece. What I've said to all the poets, if you're nervous about working with Jack, just do your own thing and Jack will figure it out. So pressure's on him. Guys, this is the final round. And your three final poets reading this order. I love you, Glasgow. We can do a whoop after each one. Reading in this order. Your final three are Arlo Bain, Biff Smith, Christy Gurley. That is Arlo, Beth, Christy. That is your final three. Guys, can we get a big round of applause for everyone in the second round? This is me buying a little time for Arlo to come up with 3 words to give Jack. So yes, guys, final round. You've only got 3 poets. I want that noise to be at peak level. I want you to give them all the love, make all the noise, go absolutely wild as we welcome back our first finalist, Arlo Bain!
What a wonderful thing to be frightened of death. I look both ways on cold, mean streets. I have no wish to be concrete meat. Let my flesh worm fleet in the all-you-can-eat. Become the ground sweet drum wheat maggot feast. 'Cause if I were dead, I wouldn't just rest in peace. There's no ceasing the deceased, no flame in my deoxyribonucleus. And even when I am the earth beneath your feet, I'll still be dancing dirty rhythmic beats and beetle feats amongst the bones, the rotting meat. But everybody dies, no one controls who. Well, boo goddamn who, I've got living to do. Call the fucking police. There are zombies in the town. Dancing, tap, and tango, they are not going back down. The ghosts are on the prowl, marking all their homes, playing checkers with the fathers, so they're not playing alone, because living is ridiculous. It's endlessly complex. And life is just a tapestry of work and love and sex. Because being alive is washing the strap on in the communal flat sink. It's going out and not paying for any of your drinks. It's farting in meetings. It's greetings with that sort of fist bump high five combo. It's when water droplets meet sunbeams to create weather systems in bathrooms. It's screaming in staff rooms. It's watching a person laugh as an explosion in their head detonated threads, leaving rubble smiles. It's sitting in silence for a while. It's her hand when you can reach her. It's 5-minute shower turns into 30-minute imaginary fight with your 4th-year teacher. And yes, being alive is your mother refusing to meet your eyes for the first time because there's prizes in your irises she doesn't want to win. It's learning love is conditional even when they try to hide it. It's not trusting your own thoughts because there's malice behind it. It's that knot in your stomach eating away day after day as you hide your way under cover and sheets. It's the ache to sleep. And by sleep, I mean to dream no more. It's waking up and wondering what you're waking up for. I don't mind. It's just a different kind of living, and while unforgiving, it is no less giving. I allow the rain to hit my skin, and remember my skin keeps my bones dry. I cry and save the tears for those lost well of years, times when I was so against my time. To be 9 and already resigned seems unfair. It took a little time, but we got there. I take solace in my fear. I take it as a gift that I actually want to be here. I thank my chest for keeping my breath and then some. I thank my head because that's where the love really comes from. I take my fear as a symptom of hope and hope the slippery slope is less of a drop and more of a slide, so I will not fall into oblivion but gracefully glide. Find the finely woven threads and hold on to it. Find the dirt-covered bed sheets and fold myself into it. So when I am ready, I can finally sleep. Thank you.
All right, everybody!
Your second poet in the final round. Please put your hands together. Give all the love to the wonderful Biff Smith!
Slow, dark, and romantic, please, Jack. Last song of the evening, folks. If you haven't asked that enchanting stranger to dance yet, the moment will be gone forever. This poem's called Dance with the Silence. It's not as though there's a shortage of noise. It's not an endangered species. Like, what we really need right now, most of all, more than anything, is more talking, more words. Having said that, here are some more. I don't quite have that courage, you see, to let silence be. But I would if I could, and indeed if I were me. Hold the silence, in alliance, let the thoughts go dancing free. And the breath between words, and the turn between sheets, and the rest between notes, and the lean between beats. To join the dots between world and head, and bring all the ghosts singing back from the dead. There's a space in the crowd, if you find a way through, our measure of time to make good the make do, and conjure the light somehow out of the blue. I'm talking too much. That's quite enough of me. Are you dancing? I'm asking, and always will be. For Anna Pavlova, her swan born anew, and Mr. Bojangles with his old soft shoe. Dance with the silence. Dance close and true. Dance until silence dances with you.
Biff Smith! We have come to our very final poet of the very final round, so I want you to give every last drop of energy you have as we welcome to the stage, Christy Gurley!
I am quiet, still, so reserved I am invisible. The tranquil waters of the surface never reveal their secrets. Sunken treasures and shipwrecks in the depths go undiscovered for centuries as passers-by don't care to look closer. They find the quiet chilling, unsettling, and hurry past, barely sparing a glance, looking closer. The water is restless. Fire is concealed beneath the waves, defying the laws of physics, unseen flames railing against injustice and pain. I am quick to anger, a temper barely tamed by fragile restraint, glass slippers cracking from the heat of the blaze. I am fire. I am strong as steel, a difficult woman who will not yield for anything. I am fire, and I am afraid. I try to speak the truth. I long to be brave, but sometimes my voice shakes. Words can't get past the lump in my throat. I give an empty smile and sit in discomfort rather than risk making waves and rocking the boat. I am peace. Another layer deep, the fireworks and fear cease, and the soft, tender heart of me beats. A gentle soul who loves to hold another's heart in the palm of her hand, who dreams of fairy tales and pixie dust and happily ever afters in far-off lands. I document my daydreams, turning darkness bright, because at my core, I am light. I am strong. I will always persevere, but my strength isn't forged in flames or fear. My strength is hope. Hope is not a fragile thing. It is the heart that loves despite being broken, the voice that whispers, next time you'll win with every defeat. Fire and fear may hold me back, but their hold is weak. Hope is not a fragile bird. Hope fights tooth and nail to be heard. With bloodied knuckles and broken teeth, it screams in the face of adversity. With hope, I am unstoppable, a force to be reckoned with. I am legend and myth combined. I defy gravity. I can freeze time, invincible and powerful, with the ability to fly like Icarus. I soar high, riding waves in macro skies. No sun will burn me. My wings will never fail, and no matter if I am still or fragile or filled with fear or fire, the light of hope inside will never die. I am me. Untamable, quiet, fierce, and too much. I am enough. Thank you.
Christy Gurley, everybody! Can we also have a big round of applause for Jack Hanks? Phenomenal stuff. That is an absolutely blistering final round. Oh, like the judges just stood up and Kate just shook her head at me like it's my fucking fault. I didn't do the poems. Damn, that is crazy. Guys, I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to the Drygate for having us. Can you get a big whoop for the Drygate? And specifically for our wonderful techie in the booth, give it up for Dave. I do also want to say, specifically in the insane fucking arts funding climate that we're in, this night was funded by Creative Scotland. So we get a whoop for Creative Scotland. We massively, massively appreciate the support they've given us to be able to put on this season, and the first season we did as well wouldn't be possible without it. So yeah, a big thank you to them. The next Loud Poets Heat is going to be in Birmingham as we partner with Verve Poetry Festival in Birmingham. We're big fans of Verve. We don't expect you to come to Birmingham. That's totally fine. But if you would like to follow along the rest of the Slam series, they'll all be going up for free in full on our YouTube channel. So you can see them all on there. So if you want to follow the season, see who your Glasgow champ is going to go up against. We already have one champion in Edinburgh. Lucas Sheridan won the Edinburgh Heat. So yeah, if you want to check that out, I've just spoiled it for you. Whoops. But if you want to check out the rest of them, they go up just a kind of week or two after the event. So please do check them out. If you want to check out anything we do, we put up hundreds and hundreds of videos with spoken word. Like if you write books, you got a book. That's a thing anyone can access. They all get archived in the National Library, all those sorts of things. Spoken word, it's the people in the room, and you might never get that again. So we are doing a huge effort to try and archive everything. We put on hundreds of poets a year on our stages. We try and film as much of it as we can. So if you want to see, 2 of our videos have won back-to-back years of the Forward Prize for Best Poem Performed, which is, for the poet people, they're like, man, that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you want to continue to support that and what we do, please do check out the YouTube. The biggest thing, Glasgow has an absolutely fucking amazing spoken word scene. Go and check out the amazing nights that are going on in Glasgow. If you don't know where to, there's 12 really good poets in this room. Go and ask them as you're telling them how much you enjoyed their work. Please buy Jim's book. He'll be able to point you to a million amazing nights. Spoken word is one of the most under-supported, kind of undervalued art forms in the country, and it's something we're really fucking good at. We consistently rank in the top sort of 4 in the world at World Poetry Slam Championships and stuff. So go and check that out. Go and see where you can support it, because we're pretty fucking good at it, as you've just seen. So yeah, please do continue to support spoken word where you are. I know you can all see Katie. I know you know she has the name. I'll go and fucking get it. The other thing, you know they're going to win 200 quid if they win tonight, and 3 grand if they win the Grand Slam final. But the real prize is the fucking championship belt. Isn't she perfect? No, we haven't done 3 years of slam so that I can own a wrestling belt. That'd be dumb. Hey guys, we don't have a current reigning Glasgow champion, so what we're going to do is welcome back on the stage Jim Monaghan to hand over the belt to our new champion. But who is that champion? Can I get a drum roll, please? The winner of the Loud Poets 2025 Glasgow Heat, going on to the Grand Slam final, is Arlo Bay! That belt is supposed to go around a human's waist. Some of us, maybe not even that. Go fuck yourself. My favorite thing is one of our Edinburgh champions, the Edinburgh champion from last year, Heather Rose, who's a tremendous poet. She picked up the belt and I was like, it weighs more than her. She's this tiny person. Where are all these tiny poets coming from? Do you want to? Guys, we're going to give a victory poem, a little victory lap. Please, one more time, show the love for Arlo Bay! Do you want to do it with the belt or do you want me to hold it?
I want to do it with the belt. Jesus Christ. Okay. I had a dream that this would happen and I would get to read this poem, so we're letting that happen, guys. We're doing it, okay? When I win, they will call out my name. Seems fairly obvious and arrogant, I know. Announcer announces, you go when it's perfect. You take up that crown and you hope that you're worth it. But the glory's held within the winning, the name that's called the background singing and indicating indistinct necessity, right? Well, not quite. See, the name that fights in your throat takes flight on your tongue. That name is sung with a special shine. That name is chosen. By my compel, you get up close, that new name smell. A name that hidden notes apps held between thoughts, paralyzed data left there to rot, a newly printed name badge left on dressers where it stayed, never finding its way to work shirts because it was made afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I am no longer waiting for war. I will scream till the cords rip. I have stripped myself to my necessities. Now I know better. I have fought battles on your taste buds so you could taste the life in my letters. I gave you a name that fits in the creases of a smile. A name that fits with every hairdo you do kind of style. A name that you can flirt, fuck, and furl up into. A name that you can pray but is better to sin to. I gave you a name that sounds like breeze in the silence, somewhere so very far from the violence trampled in my head, a word that fits like the flowers in bed, a name that can be said over and over again, a name I met as a stranger but know as a friend. And if mum and dad ask, tell them I took the letters they gifted me at birth, but every cell I grew after that, I grew myself. I have taken the reins now. I am tired of feigns, how fables twist. I started using my words and I put down my fists. I will compel your tongue to understand. I have legalized my fury as contraband. I am high on my thirst for existence. So I'll take what I've learnt and I'll wield what I know. You will not sleep on my awakening. I was made in a world mistaken in. I will be my advocate. Every syllable deliberate. Take every breath as celebrate. With thanks to my collaborate, I pulled all my knowledge. I pay my due homage to the girl who died of old age at 17. And the boy who comes and visits her in his dreams. Who doesn't let her go because he knows better now. And who can finally live because she showed him how. I have been through the hurricane. I am out the storm. Do not think of me as dying, but as being reborn to something greater than happy, more peaceful than joy. I discarded the label girl, boy, and prefer to be known as a lost soul who's finally found their way home. The competition is over when I say it's done, and it won't matter if I've lost, because I've already won, because I felt so terrified, but I carried on. Now I hear the ode to my journey each day. I see a future finally including me. Oh, right there in my chest, where I keep all the best breaths I want to keep. Like the breath I took when I saw the girl of my dreams, like when she told me she loved me, when my parents said they were first proud of me, when a crowd first cheered for me, the first time I would look in the mirror and see me. 17 years late. I can't really mourn because finally breathing is great. And if the world is wondering, tell them it was worth the wait. And it might not be today, or tomorrow, or this year. But I cannot give up hope, and I will not live in fear. So when I win, and I have fucking won, they will call out my name. Thank you.
Guys, one more time for Arlo. Please do follow the Slam series. If you're in Edinburgh when there's a particular festival on in August, please come and check out and support your champ. It would mean the world to us. We are going to be doing another Heat in the West Coast of Scotland. We're going to be back for Paisley Book Festival. If you were maybe sitting in the audience and you're like, fuck, that looks like fun, sign up when sign-ups go up for Paisley. If you're wanting to know when sign-ups and stuff go up, there's a slide that'll come up just in a wee second with a load of where you can QR code it or whatever, and that will get you the newsletter. You'll know when the Paisley sign-ups are open. If you're wanting to find out more about writing as well, we have a writers club, which we do online. Every month we meet for workshops, and then we have these feedback sessions as well. We have poets from all over the country that kind of feed in. We have this Discord, and everyone kind of helps each other out. We put resources and all that sort of stuff on. So if you're looking to learn more and hone your skills, anything like that, please do come and chat to us, see where you can find out more. But for now, can we just get one massive round of applause for all your slammers this evening? For the wonderful Mr. Jack Hinks. For our judges, Rosie Jo Hunter, Katie Ailes, and our Sacrificial Poet, Jim Monaghan. I have been Kevin Mclean. This has been Loud Poets. You guys have been fucking awesome. We will see you again next time. Good night. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please help us share it with more people by clicking the like button down below. If you want to see more videos like it, well, there should be one on your screen right now. Click that and you can head right there. Or you can subscribe to the channel. Make sure to ring the bell icon for notifications and you will never miss another video we put out.
If that's not enough for you, well, good news. We have over 50 full-length Loud Poet shows that you can get access to, either by joining us over on the Patreon page or by becoming a member right here on YouTube. All you need to do is click the join button down below. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.